I've always wanted to have a poker theorem named after me. It's on my poker bucket list. So here's my bid for poker immortality. The Jimmy Legs theorem. Oh, I'm a little nervous here. Okay. Calm down, John. You can do this. Okay. Here we go. Given that the self-serving bias will cause you to take credit for your successes but blame luck for your failures, you should always assume that you made mistakes in the hand, regardless of whether or not you actually won the pot, at least until it can be categorically proven otherwise. No, that sucks. It's way too many words. It'll never fit on a bumper sticker. How about, whether you won or lost the hand, assume you f***ed it up? Now that's a goddamn theorem. Let's take a closer look at why this might be a good idea. The game of poker is a mix of both skill and chance. And just in case there are any lawmakers out there, I should probably clarify that it is predominantly a game of skill. So let's move that center line a little over to the right there. Okay, now, when we lose a pot, the self-serving bias exerts its pressure to convince us that our failure was caused by bad luck, even if it wasn't. So it would be in our best interest to have an equal opposing force pushing us in the other direction as a kind of counterbalance. The Jimmy Legs theorem does this. Assume you f***ed it up. And when we win a pot, the self-serving bias exerts its pressure to convince us that we played perfectly, even if we didn't. Again, it's therefore in our best interest to have an opposing force to counteract it. Assume you f***ed it up. This theorem might seem a little severe, given that sometimes you really do just get unlucky, and sometimes you do play a hand perfectly. But remember that our purpose here is to offset the powerful, invisible pressure that the self-serving bias exerts on our perceptions. If you're constantly looking for something you did wrong, and the self-serving bias is constantly whispering to you that you didn't, hopefully they'll cancel each other out and you'll end up about where you should be. Now, go forth, my minions.
Follow the theorem. Repeat the theorem. Make me immortal.
Well, let's take a look at a concrete example from the tables. Okay, let's say you're in the big blind with aces. Button raises, and you flat in order to trap him for a big pot. Flop comes 6-8 queen with 2 hearts. You check, the button c-bets. You call for time to make it look like a tough decision, and then min-raise to get a little more money in there. Button calls. Turn is an offsuit deuce. You want to get paid off, but you don't want to scare him off entirely, so you bet a little bigger than before, about half pot. He calls. River's an offsuit jack. You bet again, and he ships it right in your face. You call, and he tables 10-9. Fuck. He hit the gut shot. So unlucky. But were you unlucky? Sure, it sucks that he hit his card, but let's apply the Jimmy Legs theorem and instead assume that you f***ed it up. Where did you go wrong? Well, first, you could have 3-bet him pre-flop with the aces. Occasionally flatting with aces isn't terrible, but really the standard play here is to just get some more money in the pot since you definitely have the best hand now, but you're out of position. Second, your flop check min-raise is kind of idiotic. You don't know it yet, but your opponent actually has a monster here. It's not just a gut shot, it's a double gut shot plus a flush draw, something that you, in your fury, neglected to notice at showdown. In fact, at 56%, he's a favorite on this flop against your bare aces, and it would even be reasonable for him to just get it all in here. But he's an observant opponent, and your oh-so-sneaky min-raise tips him off that you have a big hand. He's noticed you've been playing passive and trappy, so even though he'd be justified in getting it all in here, he decides to play position and wait to see if he hits. And he's getting more than sufficient odds to just call. Now on the turn, he misses, but he's still got a huge draw and correctly guesses that he can get the rest of your stack on the river if he hits. The river is his gin card, since it gives him the nuts and isn't as obvious as a heart would have been. He gets it all in as a 100% favorite on the river instead of a 56% favorite on the flop and stacks you. So in retrospect, you really screwed the pooch here. But blaming your bad luck, you might have missed a golden opportunity to improve your game.